Is this sniper scope cam all it's made out to be? Let's find out. Wait a minute. Ew, what the fuck? Before we dive too deep into this camera and the specs and some video quality and some firing tests, I do want to let you know I've played with this camera for a handful of games now. I've beat on it. It's been in the hot sun, 90-degree weather, the rain, downpouring. I've dropped it. I've spray painted it. So I wouldn't say my opinion is the end-all be-all, but I have a pretty good idea of how this thing works. Whether you're a nerd that gets off on tech stuff or just some random guy looking to be the next Novrich, let me tell you, the specs on this will matter. Why? Well, you're going to be recording some seriously small BBs, hitting some targets at really far distances, and sometimes you're moving a ton. So it's super important for you to be able to get a good shot, otherwise your video is going to look like crap. This little long-distance cheater catcher can record in up to 1080p, and get this, it's wireless, so it can connect not only to your PC, but also your smartphone. Some of the things you'll notice right out of the box is the two switches on the top. You have an on-off switch and a Wi-Fi connect button. On the rear of the camera, you'll notice it charges via USB-C, and it's also got a little window for your SD cards. The mounting mechanism as well is spring-loaded, and it has a protective glass because, you know, you're at Airsoft, you're going to get shot. To attach it to your replica, all you're going to do is squeeze it, put it on any rail that it fits, tighten the screw down for extra security, and just like that, it isn't going anywhere. Ugh. I get it, you just want to see how it fires, and I understand that, because that's what matters, so let's get right to it. The only way to get it to turn on and off is through this switch. It'll vibrate, which is great because it lets you know quietly that it started recording. And I'll go ahead and put a side-by-side of the BBs through the scope cam and the BBs through just my regular iPhone camera, so you can kind of see the difference. Let's fire off some shots. Started raining, so that's good. I think what I want to do now is show you guys how the sound records on it, because it does record sound, but it's really not that great. I'd recommend keeping the sound to your GoPro or something, but let's get that sucker on. Okay, here I am talking through my phone, and here I am talking through the camera. Phone, camera. Okay, so we went over all the specs, and of course, we took some shots, and I guess we'll go over some of the pros, the cons that we saw, and of course, some of the things that I've noticed while playing with it. For starters, I really like the button. It's a single turn on, a single turn off, and I like that it vibrates. One of the downsides about things like GoPros is they either beep or they don't make a sound. The beeping gives you away when you're hiding in a bush, so if it dies on you or if you have to turn it on, it'll let everyone know you're there, or sometimes you just have no idea if it's on, and then you're stuck walking around your buddy like, oh, is my screen on? Is the screen on? Is it blinking? And I think that stinks. So, really cool. Innovative. I do like the fact that they have replaceable lenses. Super simple. You throw a new lens in there, whichever lens you feel you need based off of how far you'll be shooting. The higher millimeters, it's safe to say that you're shooting further distances, and the shorter millimeters, it's safe to say you're shooting shorter distances. And the protective cover on there obviously only just increases the longevity. I prefer a simple Bluetooth connection, kind of like GoPro has, but Wi-Fi connection's fine, it's not a big deal. I do think that they should start covering the USB-C port. Obviously, USB-C is a little bit stronger than USB, but you know, you're going to be in the bushes, rolling around in the mud. You know, this should be designed to beat on, so it's going to get caked up with stuff pretty soon, I could imagine. So some sort of cover on there, or maybe just throw like a piece of electrical tape on there would be great. One thing I really like is the fact that you can just change the mounting systems on this guy really easy. You just press the button, clip it onto where you want it. If you got to take it off and move it somewhere, definitely super convenient. I really enjoy the fact that that's a possibility. Now, something that I do recommend, if you're playing with a sniper or an AR or what have you, I've noticed in gameplay, if you mount it to your replica just above the barrel, sometimes you miss the shots, or it looks like when you are shooting, your target is too high on the screen, like up in this region. I definitely recommend mounting it, if possible, onto your scope, especially if you're sniping. It'll be more in line with the scope. Therefore, your target tends to be closer to the center of the screen. It makes for better videos. So I assume you're getting the hint that I really actually like this camera, and I do, don't get me wrong, but there's two things that I'd like to point out that gave me an issue. The first problem has almost nothing to do with the camera, it's the app that comes with it. The app, for some reason, with my brand new iPhone, fully updated app, fully updated iPhone, I'm sorry, there's a huge truck driving by, it wouldn't give me a live preview, so I couldn't do any editing on the app to edit how the camera's going to record, because I couldn't see what it was doing. And I reached out to the company and they kindly tried to assist me through it, and they were unsuccessful and mentioned that it's something wrong with the application at the moment and they're working on fixing that. So obviously if they get that fixed, great. For now, I'm using a driving app. I forgot what it's called, but it's a like driving camera recorder app. This is it. You can use that if you have the same problem that I did, because that was super infuriating, especially if for some reason you change out lenses and they're not focused, because you'll never be able to focus this thing. The other challenge that I've had, and it only happened one time and I can't figure out why. When I was recording, every single time that I turn it on, it worked fine. But one day I turned it on and it would vibrate. It would be good for a minute or two and vibrate. Good for a minute and two. And of course I'm mid-game, all the action, I'm sniping, I'm getting eliminations, and I'm not checking it. And then I get home to find out that every single one of my videos is like a minute 25, a minute 29 seconds. And they're not even, so I have no idea why it was doing that. That beats me. It never happened again. So, I don't know. You be the judge. Maybe that was just a user error. I should have sat down and double checked it, but that was foolish of me. So, is the Scope Cam 2 cam for you? It's a cam for me. I'll leave the rest in your hands. Happy filming, happy shooting. Thanks for watching.